Almost Christmas time and you're still making a massive mistake, paying massive prices, seeing massive crime, and massive divide between the red and the blue, the X and the Y, the cat and the dog, and you're still taking it. That's why you need to relocate. Geo arbitrage, which I like to call it, your life. Use the power you've made in the West financially and take more advantages of it coming into a new area. My situation is in Vietnam. I like it here. The vibe here is good. Now, it wasn't always like that in terms of how I felt about it in the first couple stages, but making the move, it was probably the smartest decision I've ever made. Now, I'm usually on a bike with these type of videos, but I decided to change it up a little bit and check out this chill coffee lounge that I usually don't really go to. But I think that's one of the cool things about coming here to Vietnam is that there's always these little small hidden areas that you don't really get to see, don't really notice, but it's just around the corner and you get this like massive hotel or this nice luxurious area. So I'm over here. Man, that's got me thinking about why you should come move to Ho Chi Minh City. But the first point I want to make is actually just in Vietnam in general. Now, I've already explained some of the prices, so I'll just actually give you an example that literally happened today, a couple hours ago. Now, in the morning, I usually get some type of big meal. That's just like my first, big break of food and meal of the day. So I usually go to this place called Annam Gourmet, which has more of the Western style food of spices, ingredients, and the things you want to buy and eat. So they have this really nice buffet there that I go to frequently. Now, there was a older guy. You can clearly tell he's a foreigner, older Caucasian gentleman, little balding, all that. And so he was just chilling there, writing down his notes. And I was just curious, what exactly brought him here? Because he was having like a notepad. And that got into more of a discussion that he was actually from Canada. And I've never been to Canada. So I wanted to get a more feel of like what Canada prices were, what's Canada life was. And pretty much the first sentence he told me was, Canada has been going down the blank hole. He used a different word and you can probably figure out what it was. And I was actually just figuring out exactly why. And the biggest thing he mentioned to me was the prices, especially in Vancouver. Apparently, right now, prices for rent in Vancouver, he was telling me around $3,000 a month if you wanted a downtown Vancouver apartment. And apparently it's just like middle of the pack quality. In fact, his words was going low in quality, but the price is going higher. And he was mentioning before, around 13 months before all of that, he was actually paying a third of the price. But then all of a sudden, he couldn't explain why. All of a sudden it tripled in price just because the landlord, wanted to make some money. Now, I don't know how accurate it is, but apparently Vancouver is the second place, the most expensive place in the world. Is that true? I don't know, but all I know is $3,000 for an apartment. I'm trying to imagine, that's just for an apartment. We're not talking about like maintenance, electricity, food prices, car, gas, health insurance. I'm not even adding all of that, all right? That's just baseline just to live in that, block of building. I'm trying to imagine $3,000 here in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City. Oh my God. Honestly, this would be, let me give a 360 view of where I'm at right now. But yeah, this would be what you'd be waking up to every single day for a fraction of the price on $3,000 a month. Yeah, in fact, right over here is actually an apartment building complex. And like you could easily live in that building for way less, but this is just your whole view on that type of budget, probably even higher, but that's insane to me. Pretty much $3,000 you can live very well here. But that's just one component of just coming to Vietnam just in general. But obviously the cost of living, right? Now, the second biggest part was, now there are many areas of Vietnam you can go to. Yes, you've heard of probably Da Nang, Hanoi, and obviously Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City is probably the top places in Vietnam you've heard of. Now, there's obviously pros and cons from every area you go to. I'll just say the ones of me in Ho Chi Minh City. And that's primarily because this is where all the action happens in terms of if you want to do some type of business opportunity, meeting, network with different foreigners, because this is really where all the expats and foreigners really come about in all different types of communities, and they're massive. From Australian pubs, American, Canadian, even European, if you're from like the UK. I've noticed always like this little like small groups and batches, and particularly there's always some type of pub or bar that comes along with it. They have like very specific, okay, this is like an Australian bar, this is an American bar, or for example, like in like the UK, there'd be like specific types of bars, and there's so many that like stretch out in all areas of Saigon and Ho Chi Minh City. So if you're trying to do things like that, I mean, this is really the place to really network and meet at mass volume. And you get to meet all different types of people, where in other areas, maybe the population isn't as much there, so you weren't able to meet as much. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the price of living in Ho Chi Minh City and Saigon is much higher compared to places like Da Nang. Maybe like Hanoi, I don't know too much, I've never been, but from what I've heard in Da Nang, there's a massive price difference between the two. But the reality is, it's not like crazy, like triple or quadruple. You're still spending way less what you would back in, you know, Georgia, America, Vancouver, from what I've heard. But here, you're going to be paying for what you get. And, you know, despite, you know, the prices being much, much less than what it is in the Western places, do you really see yourself, you know, coming to Vietnam, potentially retiring, relocating, moving here, having a new life for yourself in like a moldy, cockroach infested or some rundown area where no one goes, but you're paying like $100, $200 a month? Is that really how you want to experience your time retiring, moving here, relocating here? You know? So that's why I would say coming here, if you're gonna come to at least Ho Chi Minh City specifically, you know, you want to at least have a higher quality of life, or very even similar, but you're just paying less, but you're still getting the same quality or even higher quality. And that's why I think here has a lot of opportunities to find the right areas and places you want to pick. Now, even areas in Ho Chi Minh City, you would have to be kind of specific as well, because if you want to go more on the outskirts and farther out, you can actually get for cheaper and the quality can be high, but in terms of activity or things you can do there might be lower compared to more on the inner or District 1 and District 2. So because of that, you know, the prices would be higher there. So for example, for me, I've mentioned before, but my Vietnamese is crap. It's terrible. It's at a, I don't know, 5-year-old level. So because of that, I always told myself, okay, I need to be able to speak English. I want to find somebody that can speak English. I don't want any miscommunication, no miscommunication barrier, like, oh, they said this, I said this. No, no, no. You understood exactly what I said. So that's why I moved to District 2 in Thao Dinh. And because of that, you know, the English, I mean, it's pretty much like I'm living back home in Georgia. I'm able to communicate with Vietnamese people, and obviously there's a bunch of foreigners, expats here. So I can always make friends and really have my own social network here. So even in Ho Chi Minh City, you have to be careful where you want to choose, what type of lifestyle do you want to live? Do you want to be more quiet and then just to yourself? But at the same time, you want, you know, you don't want the like baller, you know, $2,000, $3,000 apartment or living on a penthouse. You want just a chill life. Okay, maybe further out in the district is more for yourself. But if you want to have a more, social, meet people that are similar background as you, communicate in English, or have more amenities and activities to do, I would say more in District 1, District 2 would be more your area, and, be able to really have a more similar Western lifestyle, right? But at the end of the day, it does come at a higher price. But, it's your time on Earth, so you get to decide. So, and I would say then my next point, why Ho Chi Minh City? This is a big one. It's dating. So look, I'm a single guy, and I like beautiful women. What can I say? Actually, in fact, there are some beautiful women here, even at this cafe, just doing their work here, which is amazing because they always. The thing about I really like here that it's always like the workers and the staff here, if they're hired like women, they're very attractive, and sometimes it's hard to do my work. But in terms of the dating pool here, I would say Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, is, in my opinion, the #1 place to be. Now, I've heard of Hanoi is good as well. I've never been there, so I can't personally verify. Also, Da Nang, I have no idea. But in Ho Chi Minh City, this is where all the people and Vietnamese people, workers flock to. The reason why is because job opportunities, business opportunities, meeting events, networking, socialization is all happening in the city. So because of that, Monday through Friday, even on the weekends, people are flocking to the main city to, live their life. And that comes from all types of people, especially beautiful women. So you're able to meet more women here, see different types of women here. I think the cool thing about coming here from District 1, District 2 in this area is that the types of women you meet, it's a wide range of variety, right? Which I like. It's where you're able to meet the more traditional Vietnamese women, with Vietnamese values, culture, and family-oriented traditions, which is, if that's something you like, great. Or you get to meet the other side where it's somebody who you might want to connect with and relate a little bit more in terms of like the Western style of communication. Maybe, dry humor or sarcastic humor, or, the ability to just communicate in a way it's just very similar to like, Western style. Like, for example, for me, I like sarcasm. I like making sarcastic jokes. I like dark humor jokes. Sometimes a little bit like a dry humor now here and there. But that's hard for me to find somebody who has those element of qualities. I would say like half of the time here in Taoden District 1, because some of the time I'm meeting women who have that traditional background, and the sarcastic humor, it doesn't hit. They sometimes think I'm serious if I'm making like a sarcastic joke or a dry humor joke. They think I'm like legit serious. But other times I'll be dating a girl who, studied international school or even went abroad to the States and studied. So she understands my type of humor, or understands, oh, this is just how Americans joke or how Americans, communicate. And so you're able to meet both areas of, or types of girls that, what you would like, right? Compared to other places, I have no idea, right? I would say in Da Nang, what I've heard and experienced, it's more about a lot of foreigners going over there, and also more, I guess, traditional women. Or the women are acclimating to the amount of foreigners coming into Da Nang as part of the lifestyle. But in terms of the quantity, I have no idea. But Ho Chi Minh City, I would say, for dating, is pretty solid and amazing. But other than that, I would say overall, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, Thao Dinh is the place to go, relocate to in 2025. And if you're looking to make the move as smooth, as seamless as possible, I have a link down below as just a little form to see if this is something I can do to help you out, hear about your situation, and we can have a one-on-one call just to see where you're at in life. And hey, if this is a good time for you, and if you're tired of paying $2,000-$3,000 rent and just getting a shoebox and maybe next to some homeless people, maybe this is the time for you to make the change. So click the link below, and yeah, we'll see if it works out. If it doesn't, cool. Hopefully I can help you get some advice on even coming over to Vietnam as the new wave in 2025 and upcoming 2026. Cool. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Hope you enjoyed.